Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Rich and welcome to my channel. Now, from time to time, I like to unbox and review different things for content creators and content creation, such as wireless microphones. Now, I typically have used a Rode Wireless Go or a Rode Wireless Go 2, depending on what my needs are. But I've just recently gotten something that I think can possibly make me change, and that would be the Saramonic BlinkMe B2 wireless microphone system. Now, I'm actually excited for this one because it has some features that are unlike all the other wireless mics out there, such as noise reduction and a touchscreen display. So let's get this out of the box and check it out. So when we first open the box, we can see inside we have another box, and inside this box we have a user's manual, and it looks like we have a case. So let's see what's inside this case. Open up the case, which is nice. It actually has a little carry strap here, carry handle, and get this out here. Okay, so right off the bat we can see that here are the microphone transmitters and the receiver, and if you notice, they are magnetically held together. Very cool. We also have an iPhone mount, or a phone mount. Then we also have inside a bunch of different clips. So that's a cold shoe adapter for your phone, and then we have a couple of clips for the transmitter microphones, and then there are just a couple of other magnetic clips that you can put maybe behind your shirt as well. Then inside the pouch we also have a audio cable, a USB cable, a couple of other things here. These look like stickers, so I'm not exactly sure what these are for. I'm going to have to look in the manual. And then we have the little furries for the microphone to knock the wind down. And that's everything in the case. So one thing I wanted to show was how the wind furry goes on and attaches to the microphone transmitter. So if we look at the transmitter, we can see that there is the microphone. So make sure you always know that where that is, because you're going to want that up, facing up towards your mouth. This has a little notch where it just mounts to the top, and then we're just going to turn it. And just like that, the wind furry is attached. All right, well now it's time for the distance and turnaround test. And what I mean by that is, here I am in a public park where people are walking by, there's music playing, there's planes going overhead, and I'm going to walk towards the water and then turn around and see if the audio cuts out. I'm going to do this a few different times. So right now I'm actually wearing the Rode Wireless Go for comparison's sake, and for sound level and for noise and all that. So I'm going to start walking backwards towards the water, and I'm going to turn around about halfway there and see if the audio cuts out, which it will. With the Wireless Go, the original Wireless Go, the audio would cut out as soon as you lost line of sight. So the Rode Wireless Go is here on my shirt. I'm going to turn around right now while I am still talking, and that it probably cuts out a little bit. Now I'm going to continue down towards the water while I'm facing it. Now, why would you want to do something like this? Not to walk backwards, but more for a walk up towards the camera. So I'm going to turn around again right here. Water. So I'm pretty much at the water right now, and you can hear when I turn around, and I'm sure I cut out already. So I'm just going to come right back, and as you can tell, that this isn't the best system for non-line of sight. For line of sight, it's fine. I'm sure the entire time I'm walking, you can hear me. But this isn't a test of the Rode Wireless Go. It's a test of the Saramonic BlinkMe. So let me switch that out and do the test again. So right now I'm using the on-camera microphone because I want to show you, to turn on the Saramonic, we just press this little power button right here. The yellow button is actually for noise reduction, and here's the test. It's turning on right now, I want to see how bright is this screen going to be in daylight. So now I have the Saramonic BlinkMe B2 on my shirt, and I am going to walk towards the water, do the exact same test over again. I'm going to do this with every microphone I always test, is the turnaround test, like I said. So I'm walking towards the water. I'm about halfway there, and now I'm going to turn around so we can see if it cuts out. So how well does it work for losing line of sight? Did I cut out? Also, as I continue to walk towards the water here, you can hear, I'm sure it's probably extremely clear. The noise reduction is off, and I'm now at the water. I'm turning around. Can you still hear me, or has it already cut out? If you can still hear me when I turn around, then it probably works way better than most of the other microphones I've tested in the past. So I'm going to come back to the camera now, and we'll have to see later, or you guys will have seen it already, whether or not I cut out. What do you think of the audio quality compared to what you were just listening to before, which was the Rode Wireless Go? This is the Saramonic B2 BlinkMe. So I'm going to put the Rode back on my shirt, right about here, and I'm going to plug the Rode back in. So this is the Saramonic, and this is the Rode Wireless Go. So you can hear the audio difference. I hope the levels are about the same. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is the Rode Wireless Go. Right back to the Saramonic. And now we're back on the Saramonic BlinkMe B2. How does it sound? So right now we're going to do another test of the Saramonic BlinkMe B2 and the noise reduction. So again, I'm here at the park, and the noise reduction is off. There are planes going by, there's people walking by, there's all sorts of noise all around me. So I want to test and see what happens when I push the noise reduction button and what it does to my voice. So I should be able to just do this by pushing this yellow button on the side, and if I can see the screen, I push it, and yes, noise reduction is now on. So this is what it sounds like with noise reduction on. As you can hear, there's kids walking by, there's ducks all around me, there's planes flying by. What did it do to my voice? Am I still clear? Can you still hear me? I'm going to be quiet just for a second to see what the surrounding noise sounds like with the noise reduction on. Now I'm going to turn the noise reduction off and do the same thing. Noise reduction is now off. Can you guys hear a difference? So another thing I wanted to discuss was the screen display. Now, an issue I've had with a lot of wireless microphone displays is that they are often not bright enough to be seen in daylight or outdoors. And while you're in the studio, that's fine because it's plenty bright inside. Outdoors, sometimes you just need to see the screen, especially something like this, which is touchscreen. You can get into all the settings. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I can see the screen out here, and it is fine in daylight. So if you can see it, I'm going to show this again inside, but there, when you scroll down, you can see onboard recording. You can see noise reduction to turn that on or off. You can see the gain levels and the brightness levels. Now, right now on this unit, which is the second transmitter, I am actually at the mid-level. So I'm going to bring that all the way up, as you can see. And what do you think? Did it get any brighter? This is different settings throughout this unit. But like I said, it is visible for me out here. If I look directly at it, it's extremely clear and visible. which is a plus. So that gets a thumbs up from me compared to some of the other ones I've done lately, which you can't see anything. How does my voice sound, by the way? Can you hear me? So now I want to show you that the display on the Saramonic BlinkMe B2 is actually very bright when you are indoors. Now, I did have a hard time seeing this screen this clearly when I was outside in the sunlight, but indoors, this is not an issue whatsoever. Now, you can still see it when you're outside. It's just not as bright as this. So I wish they would just make it a little bit easier to see in the sunlight. But so this is what we have. We have, it shows your channel on the screen here. So channel 1, and you can see channel 2 right there. It shows your signal strength and your battery level. It also shows your audio input coming in, your level right here, so you can see that it's actually working. Then I have the mono mode or stereo mode, so you know whether you're recording 2 separate tracks or 1 combined track. And then you have your gain level, whether you need to make it louder or lower. If I push the yellow button, then an NR shows up for the noise reduction. Now, if I swipe down, it goes to onboard recording, and that gives me my record protection, or it can automatically record, and then I can change the bit depth. If I go down again, noise reduction, all this does is turn it on or off. Down one more, now we've got our transmission gain, and I can change the level of the gain for the transmitter. The brightness, as you can see, this has different levels, and I have it all the way at the top at the moment. And for the display, this is where you can do your power saving levels, you know, whether you wanted to shut off after a couple seconds or leave it always on, and whether or not it just goes on and off automatically. The settings in here, this is if you need to repair the device or change the language and set the date and time for your internal recordings. And that is what we see here on the display of the Saramonic BlinkMe B2. Now, one more thing, here is the receiver. And this also shows our audio levels for left and right, channel 1 and channel 2, our signal strength, and our battery level as well. And it also shows if you're mono or stereo, you can actually lock it. So, you know, the buttons won't do anything. If I swipe down, this is my recording mode, so I can switch this to mono or stereo. The gain, it shows me the gain for the receiver. Now the display here, again, power saving or always on. And then you've got some settings as well. If I swipe up on the receiver side, I can also get more settings for the internal recording of the transmitters. And you can see, like, if I go to the recording, that starts and stops the recording of the transmitter, because you can see the little red dot here on the screen, which means right now I'm actually recording to the internal memory of transmitter number 1. And if I hit stop, that stops it. Also, I can mute the mic and format the memory and see how many hours I still have remaining, and just swipe down to get out of that. So one more thing I wanted to talk about just really quickly was that this is not a charging case, unlike some of the other wireless mics that I've been reviewing lately. Although it does nest into the transmitter, to the receiver side of things. You put the transmitter right on there, and then you just charge that. So not that big of a deal. Another cool thing about the BlinkMe B2 is the way the transmitters magnetically attach to the receiver and automatically shut off and start charging. And of course, when you remove them, they turn right back on. So for example, here is transmitter 1. I'm just going to put it here onto the top here, and you can see with the red light that it automatically starts charging. I'll do the same thing with the second one. Screen shuts off, and it starts charging. It also shuts the screen off here, so it turns off. Now when I remove it, you can see that it automatically turns on, and this one turns on as well. So I think that's actually a very cool feature. So all you really need to do is attach them to the receiver, plug in the receiver to charge, and this is a charging base for the transmitters. One thing I really do like about this unit is the magnetic clips and the magnets to go inside your shirt. So, you know, here I am holding it in my hand, but all I have to do is do that, and then I can easily just put it right here on my shirt, and then I can actually swivel it around so the microphone is facing my mouth, and that is actually awesome. I really like that a lot. I mean, if I'm not wearing a button shirt, I can actually still use this with a t-shirt. Just by adding this behind my shirt, just like that. That's awesome. So why would you want a dual microphone wireless system? Well, let's say you're in an interview situation like I'm going to be in right now. This is Jordan. Jordan is a drummer in a band. Jordan, tell us about your band.
My band's called The War Toys. It's surf rock. We're from LA, so we play all over, but it's got some bounce, it's fast, it's slow. It's an experience.
And so you can see here, by having two mics, he has his own right there on his shirt. I've got mine right here. You can actually separate the channels, channel 1 for me, channel 2 for him, and then in post we can combine them. Let's say I make a noise or something like that, I can always cut that out. So another thing here is that I also have noise reduction on. We are in a busy parking lot at the moment, and we have the noise reduction on. So we're going to turn that off just so you can see what the difference is. So all I have to do is push this little yellow button right here once, do the same thing, just push the little yellow button. The display shows that noise reduction is off, and it's off for both of us. So now, Jordan, tell us, where can we find more information out about your band?
So again, the name of my band is called The War Toys. You can find us on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that, Instagram, The War Toys, and then also our website is thewartoys.store. So just go ahead and check out our dates. We have merch, we play all the time, so all the content's there.
All right, well, thank you, Jordan. Now I'm going to turn the noise reduction back on, and all I do is push down on that yellow button. Okay, noise reduction is now back on. Can you guys tell a difference, or what does it sound like to you guys? Why don't you leave some comments below and tell us your thoughts on the audio quality of the Saramonic BlinkMe B2. By far, the coolest feature of the Saramonic BlinkMe B2 is the ability to change the logos on your transmitters to something else. So for example, you see right now that on Unit 1 and Unit 2, it says Saramonic. Now, I've gone ahead and downloaded the app, and when you turn them on, it connects. And if I go to Device Management, here it shows Transmitter 1 and Transmitter 2. So if I click on Transmitter 1, it gives me some wallpaper that I can change to. So I went ahead and I downloaded a YouTube logo, and all I have to do is apply, and you're going to see that this is going to change. And there you go. So now I have a YouTube logo on my Transmitter 1. Now, let's say on Transmitter 2, I want to change it to something else. So I've got a picture of myself. So I'm going to put a picture of myself here on the second transmitter, because this is the picture I have on YouTube. So for self-advertising, I can load that onto my transmitter. So it's almost done syncing up and loading my picture over to the Saramonic BlinkMe. And as soon as it's done, boom, there I am. So you can put your picture or logo on the transmitters, and when you're wearing them, that's what people will see. That is by far one of the coolest things. Also, in the app, you have the functionality to change the definition of the buttons or the receiver. You can change it from like, changing the gain to a couple of different other options. The same thing, like if you press twice, you can set it to do something else. And if you do a long press, you can set them up to do something else. So that's actually a really, really cool function. But this by far is the coolest thing that this unit has. So once again, this is the Saramonic BlinkMe B2 wireless smart microphone system. And this one's totally going to get a thumbs up from me, because I really like that it has noise reduction. I love that it has a touch screen interface where you can control all your settings, as well as an app where you can control everything. I like that it has the personalized themes where you can actually upload a picture of yourself or whatever you want to advertise. Like for me, I'm going to put a picture of me or maybe a YouTube logo or something like that. I like that it has onboard recording. So, you know, you can just take this out if you are going to do a podcast or something like that, and you can record with it. And what really makes it the best for me is the mounting options that are available. You know, you have your normal magnetic clip, but the magnetic system works also with t-shirts, and you can just put the magnet behind a t-shirt. In the past, I've always struggled with whether or not to wear a button-down shirt or a t-shirt when I'm doing my videos, because if I wear a t-shirt, it kind of falls over. It's not steady, or it looks ugly if you clip it to a t-shirt in the past. So having a magnetic mount where I can just stick it behind my t-shirt and stick the microphone right there and it look seamless is great. What I do think could use a little bit of work though are a couple of things. The brightness on the receiver, I wish it was just a little bit brighter. Indoors, it's not a problem, but outdoors in direct sunlight, it could use a little bit of boost in brightness. Also, the transmitter, I wish that was a little bit brighter. Now, it does have a brightness setting, but I put it all the way to the max, and it's still a little bit dim. I just wish maybe it was a little bit brighter, but I can still see it very clearly, so it's a minor gripe. Also, I kind of wish it was a little bit smaller. Now, I know it's still a small size, but it still kind of stands out a little bit. And of course, I could always use a wired lavalier and like stick this down in my pocket, but I wish this was just a little bit smaller, but that's just my personal preference. Anyways, this is a fantastic system, and I look forward to getting a lot of use out of this one from here on out. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and think about subscribing so you can see more of my videos as I release them. Now, there's plenty more to come, including a lot more wireless microphones that I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing. So make sure you stick around for that one, as well as when I'm done with all of the unboxings, I'm going to put them all together in one video, and we're going to see how they all compare to each other. So you're not going to want to miss that one. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Please have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.